What is going on, Jay Bears? Welcome back to the Jay by the Bay podcast. I'm Andrew J. This is episode 13. Got an awesome rendition to the show today. The preseason is officially underway. We had Arizona and Carolina last week. Got some nice games going on tonight. We have Detroit at Cincinnati, Green Bay at Pittsburgh, Indianapolis at New England. So just full array of games going on, including tomorrow on Friday and also this weekend. But as always, remember, football news, football conversations, football year-round. With that being said, let's get into it. Tonight, we got a couple of games going on. We have Detroit at Cincinnati, Green Bay at Pittsburgh, Indianapolis at New England. Got some nice games going on. I'm going to kind of go over some players and, notable players that are going that'll be playing, and then some guys that I need to see more from. Just to start off, let's go, Lions at the Bengals. Notable players playing. So Detroit is sitting pretty much all of their starters, if not all of them. Cincinnati does, their offense and defense. They will be playing briefly. That includes Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Dexter Lawrence II. Detroit, one of their notable players is Devin White, who they just signed this offseason, who's actually playing for a starting position this year. So, yeah, a lot going on there. There is some players that I do want to see in this game. Offensive tackle Blake Miller, who's pretty much got the right tackle position locked down as a starter. But I'm really looking forward to see what he can, has to bring. Seth McLaughlin. So if anybody doesn't know who Seth McLaughlin is, started his collegiate career at Alabama, then transferred to Ohio State, won a national championship with them. Now he was injured for the championship game in 2024 with an Achilles injury. He is now 100% recovered from that Achilles injury. He obviously went undrafted, but he has just come out of nowhere in camp. He's actually competing for the starting center job. This is a battle that just came out of nowhere. So I'm really looking forward to what he's going to do. With him being undrafted, I think he draws comparisons to Jeff Saturday. So let's see what we got going on there. Some other competitions, Nick Whiteside, who's a cornerback that came out of nowhere. He's turning heads at camp, played about 9 games last year. So really looking forward to this. I apologize for my cat in the background. He just woke up from his nap. Harry, say hi. Also, you got Keith Abney II. This is a player that I saw going somewhere in the 3rd round, but he fell to them in the 5th round. He's a guy that they're expecting to step up with the absence of Terrion Arnold, who obviously got cut this offseason with everything going on. But he's having a tough transition. They're, kind of throwing him there in the slot. But Dan Campbell and management, the coaching staff, they're really high on this guy. So I expect some big things from him. Flipping over to the Packers and Steelers, all starters will be playing briefly. The only thing, Tucker Kraft, who's not 100%, he will be a no-go for Green Bay. But some players that I am looking forward to seeing, Brandon Cisse, 2nd-round pick out of South Carolina for Green Bay. Really can see their possible starter for that defense. Pittsburgh. So Mason Rudolph is getting out as the start. He's looking to be the backup to Aaron Rodgers. But Will Howard and Drew Aller, they're trying to figure out, see what they got there. Possibly one of those guys is their future. So both had, great throws at camp. Drew Aller, especially this week. So I'm really looking forward to what we got there. Pittsburgh, Jennings Dunker. This is a guy that was really high on coming out of Iowa. Another versatile lineman. Looking to primarily play offensive guard. He has been struggling in camp, but he has a lot of upside. This is a guy that I said, by year's end, I would not be surprised if this guy's starting for Pittsburgh. So I expect to see a lot from him as the season progresses. So I want to see what he's got in this game. Pittsburgh also, Max Iannacor, 1st-round pick. He's competing at right tackle. Dylan Cook right now has that starting right tackle job. So I'm looking to see what he's got there. This is a guy that just his draft stock kept raising and raising. I mean, he was originally a 2nd round, looking like in the 2nd round. And then Pittsburgh ends up swooping up and taking him in the 1st. Indianapolis at New England. Got Tyler Warren going for Indianapolis. Will Campbell, who has the left tackle job, is still his, but he will be playing according to Mike Vrabel tonight. Jared Wilson also. He'll be shifting over from left guard to center, actually. For Garrett Bradbury, who was traded away to Chicago. In this game, I know Anthony Richardson, he's probably pretty much got one leg out, 1 foot out the door in Indianapolis. I still think that there's something there. So this for him is probably pretty much showcasing him. seeing what he's got. I think that he could be on a different roster come the start of the season. I'm also for New England, Gabe Yakis, second-round pick. This is a guy I thought had first-round potential. Edge rusher out of Illinois. I really like this guy. I think he's going to get a plentiful amount of reps for New England this year. So I'm really looking forward to see what he's got to show in this game. And then Demetrius Crownover, sixth-round pick, offensive tackle out of Texas A&M. This guy's got tremendous size. Obviously, he'll be a rotational piece, but I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got. LA Chargers at the Houston Texans. Notable players going is Keelan Rutledge. They took him in the first. Houston, looking like he's going to be the starting center. He was an All-American there at Georgia Tech. I'm also looking forward to seeing at Houston. They got a bit of a right tackle competition going there. Got Trent Brown, they pretty much got him on the dollar. But then you also have Braden Smith, who they signed away from Indianapolis. So you would have thought it was Braden Smith, but Braden Smith hasn't really been turning heads like you would have expected in camp. So got the competition there. Who I'm really looking to see in this game, Noah Winnington. This was an undrafted guy out of Oregon. I really like this guy. I think this is a guy that ends up making the roster, and I think he can get a lot of playing time this season. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him. Caden McDonald, second-round pick. This was my favorite defensive tackle in the whole draft. All-American out of Ohio State. I saw him kind of going in maybe in like 15 to 20 range. Ends up slipping the early second round. Chargers, they have their biggest competition right now is at left guard. They have about 5 guys that can be going there. Probably 3 that legitimately have a shot. First, I got Coyote Awasika. Signed as a free agent, played with Detroit last year. Didn't see a lot of playing time, but right now it's looking like he might potentially have a slight edge there. You also got Jake Slaughter, second-round pick out of Florida. He played center in college, but they're looking to kind of seeing if he can play left guard there. And then you also have Branson Taylor, who was a 6th-round pick last year. 6th-round pick by the Chargers, was actually cut and then brought back, signed to the practice squad. He actually did have 1 start last year at left, and it was at left guard. That was in week 18. So that's another guy that's actually he's been a surprise guy at camp. And then you also have former first-round pick by the Saints, Trevor Penning, started 4 games last season. And then Trey Pipkins III. He was a 2019 third-round pick. He was actually a starter for the last 3 seasons for the Chargers, but he doesn't have that on lockdown anymore. And then I'm also looking forward to seeing Mike McDaniel's play calling. Let's see, he showcased what he could do with the 49ers. It didn't work out with the Dolphins. Cardinals at the Raiders. All players will be playing briefly. Most likely, Max Crosby for the Raiders. Who I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm really looking forward to see Carson Beck again. I want to see if he can play off of what he did last week. Now, Jacoby Brissett is getting the nod to start. Beck will be playing at some point in the game. Looked great in that first game. He really did. Like as Blair and I were talking on Monday, there's not a doubt in my mind that Carson Beck ends up being a starter at some point during the season. Jeremiah Love will be playing, 3rd overall pick. Really looking forward to seeing him. For the Raiders, Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall pick. Unless something, God forbid, anything happens with Kirk Cousins, he most likely will not see the field this year as in the regular season, but he will be playing in this game. You also got Trey Zoon III, who I really liked. He was a third guy that fell in the 3rd round. He's been described as a Swiss Army knife. He's been playing center, guard, and right tackle in camp for the Raiders. Probably going to be a swing tackle to start, but this is a guy just like Jennings Dunker with the Steelers. I would not be surprised if he ends up being a starter come the season's end. And then the Raiders have a competition as for their receiver 3. Right now you got Jack Beck, who was a 2nd-round pick last year. Really didn't do much. He started 5 of 16 games. You also got Deontay Thornton Jr., who was a 4th-round pick last year. He started 8 of 15 games. And then Malik Benson, who was a 6th-round pick out of Oregon this year. He's been a standout at camp. So receiver, that's been one of the weak spots for the Raiders. Trey Tucker, he's right now receiver 1, and then they signed Jalen Naylor, the former Viking. I got to see something at the receiver position. Flipping to the defensive side for the Raiders, Tonka Hemingway. This was a guy that was a 4th-round pick last year. He played 9 games last season. He's been getting first-team reps with all the injuries going on with the Raiders. And then also Jermon McCoy, who had first-round talent, ended up falling to the 4th round. He's had an up-and-down camp, knocking off the rust a little bit from that injury. But this is a guy I think he's got tremendous upside. That was a low-risk, high-reward pick there. Really looking to see what we got there. Going to the Titans 49ers game, offense and defense will play briefly for both for Tennessee. 49ers will be sitting a lot just with the injuries. But for the Titans, you got Cam Ward, Carnell Tate, Jeffrey Simmons, all their guys. Really want to see Cam Ward. They got even more talent around him, so I'm really looking forward to seeing him in this game. Carnell Tate, he's shown spectacular hands at camp. He looks like he's destined to be the number one receiver there. And then offensive guard, Fernando Carmona, who was a fifth-round pick. He's pushing Cordell Fulson for the starting right guard spot. Really looking forward to seeing him. San Francisco, De'Zhaun Stribling. This is a guy I thought he was taken way too high. He's been looking great at camp. He's proven me wrong, so I look forward to seeing him in this game. Another left guard competition here, just like the Chargers, 49ers are having there. Robert Jones had a neck injury last season. Right now, it's looking like he's got the edge. Did not play at all last year, but 2024, he actually was the starter for the Miami Dolphins, started 17 to 17 games. Then you also got Connor Colby, seventh-round pick last year, started 6 to 13 games. And then you got Carver Willis, who was a fourth-round pick out of Washington this year. Like I said, Robert Jones has the edge right now. Injured last year. He's got the slight edge, but a little bit of a competition there at the left guard position for the 49ers. Flipping to the defensive side, I don't have much for the Titans, but for the 49ers, edge Romello Height, third-round pick. This is a kind of a tweener guy, about 239 pounds, but he's emerged as a camp favorite. Trent Williams is giving him praise, so I want to see him. Supposedly he's got this excellent first step, and then strong safety, slight safety competition there. Malik Mustafa, it's his job to lose, but he doesn't have it locked down. They actually got Marquise Siegel, fifth-round pick last year, actually ended up starting 7 to 15 games last season. He's pushing Mustafa. Going to Friday night now. So Friday night, you got 3 games on the docket. To start, you got the Miami Dolphins at the Washington Commanders. All starters will play briefly, offense and defense. Some players that I do want to see. For the Miami Dolphins, you have Malik Willis. How does he adapt as a full-time starter? So I want to see how he plays in this game. Miami, Caden Proctor, one of my favorite prospects in this whole draft. I guess he's had a little bit of he's had more of a good camp than a bad camp. I'll say that. He was a left tackle at Alabama. He's looking like he's going to be the left guard. So it's his job to lose, but he's transitioning well, showing a lot of promise. Flipping the defense, Jacob Rodriguez, second-round pick out of Texas Tech. This is a guy, again, I thought he had first-round potential. They land him in the second round. He's battling Tyrell Dotson for the starting linebacker role. And then Washington, Brandon Coleman. He was a third-round pick back in 2024. Started his rookie year. Started 5 to 12 games last year. This is a guy that's pushing for playing time. Potentially could push the first starting position. So we'll see there. Possible replacement there, a left tackle for Laramie Tunsil. And then, of course, Sonny Styles, battling Leo Chanel. Now, Washington, they're a positionless scheme on defense. It's kind of similar to a 5-2. So that's why Styles and Chanel, they won't always be on the field at the same time. So Styles is battling Chanel for playing time there. They'll both have plenty of reps this season, obviously. Styles being a top 10 pick, Leo Chanel, them paying him the money to get him away from the Chiefs. So I'm looking forward to that. Going over to the Denver Broncos at the Atlanta Falcons. Same thing, all starters will briefly play. I'm looking forward to seeing for Atlanta, Zachariah Branch, third-round pick. He's pushing for extensive playing time. He's looked good at camp. Quick, fast. He has the hands. Also looking forward to seeing Harold Perkins Jr., sixth-round pick. He's earning first-team reps. This guy, I really like this guy. Hybrid position. He, freshman year at LSU, that was his best season. Everybody's praising this guy. They were like, this guy's a future first-round pick. And then he kind of just get some injuries, digressed. It's one of my favorite prospects in the whole draft. I'm pushing for this guy. I really think this guy I think he's going to be something special. And then Tommy Rees came over with Kevin Stefanski from the Browns. He's the play caller. Stefanski's handed over all play calling duties. Over to Denver. Running back Jonah Coleman, fourth-round pick. He's receiving heavy reps. This is a guy I expect to see a lot of playing time. Now he also has R.J. Harvey in the backfield, but J.K. Dobbins just can't seem to stay healthy. So I think Coleman. I like this pick in the fourth round. Showed his talent at Washington last year, so I'm looking forward to this. Denver also took Justin Jolie in the 5th round, showing advanced pass protecting skills. This guy really was, pretty much a receiving tight end, but he looks good. Could possibly be a draft gem right here. Tampa Bay at the New York Jets. Offense and defense will play briefly for the Jets. That includes Garrett Wilson, Geno Smith, David Bailey. They'll all be playing. Tampa Bay, Emeka Buka, Bucky Irving, Cody Mauch, Graham Barton, Ruben Bain Jr. So some guys that I do want to see in this game, though. Cade Klubnik, 4th round pick out of Clemson. He's competing for the backup quarterback position. For the New York Jets, David Bailey Jr., 2nd overall pick. He's looking dominant in camp. There's another guy, not the biggest edge rusher, but he's got a quick first step, and that's why he looks so good at Texas Tech. But he's looking good at camp so far. I also like Darnell Jackson Jr., 4th round pick out of Florida State. He's taking advantage of all the injuries as well at defensive tackle for the Jets. So look to see a lot from there. Jets do have a little bit of a safety competition. Dane Belton signed in free agency from the Giants. Flip sides in New York. Started 9 of 17 games for the Giants last year. Looking like his job to lose right now. But you also got Andre Sisco. He was injured last season, but he ended up starting 8 of 8 games for the Jets last year. And then you have Malik Moore. Malik Moore, 2025. He was a 4th round pick last year. Started 14 of 17 games last year. So got competition there. Like I said, it's Dane Belton's job to lose, but it's a tight race. For Tampa Bay, Ted Hurst III, 3rd round pick out of Georgia State. He's making highlight reel catches. This is a guy, they're praising him at camp. He's looking good. Of course, Ruben Bain Jr., the guy that everybody keeps knocking for his arm length. This is a guy I really like. I think he's going to end up being a steal. Them getting him at 15. He shined at camp, especially even at joint practices. I'm also liking Josiah Trotter at linebacker. He was their 2nd round pick. He's been called an alpha amongst alphas. He's pushing Servase Dennis for the starting role at linebacker. He's going to get a lot of playing time regardless. And then we go to Saturday's games. Got the Carolina Panthers at the Buffalo Bills. Some notable players that are playing. All starters will briefly be playing. For the Panthers, no Damian Lewis, left guard, or Derek Brown on defense. For the Buffalo Bills, no C.J. Garner-Johnson. He's dealing with an injury. Maxwell Hairston, Cole Bishop. So they're all no-goes. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. For Buffalo, offensive tackle Judd Bowery, 4th round pick out of Boston College. He's looking like a swing tackle right now. I think this could be another one of those nice picks. Just kind of like Deion Dawkins, how they got him in the 3rd round out of Temple years ago. This guy has that potential. Also, Davison Igbinosun, 2nd round pick. This is watching a lot of Ohio State games. This guy was a highly penalized cornerback, and he's had an up and down camp. But this is a guy pushing for 1st team reps. But I want to see what he's got there. For Carolina, Jonathan Brooks, splitting 1st team reps with Chuba Hubbard, which Chuba Hubbard might not be a go tonight. He's dealing with a little bit of an injury. But Jonathan Brooks missed a combined 31 games since he's been drafted. This is his chance. Don't mess it up. Let's really see what he's got. I loved him at Texas. I think the game can transition, but he's got to stay healthy. I want to see what he's got. I need to see more from Sam Heck, the 5th round pick center off Kansas State. He showed good pass protection in the last game against the Cardinals. Had a rough first series, so let's see what he's got. Lee Hunter, defensive tackle. He's their 2nd round pick. I didn't hear his name at all last game. I need to see more from him. Also, Carolina, Willie III, who's the 4th round pick, is one of the corners that I'm high on. He had a really good first series, and then he got beat on one deep throw. Take advantage of the 2nd game. This is what preseason's all about. Take advantage of your reps. So that's what I want to see there. Now we go to the Cleveland Browns and at the Chicago Bears. All starters will play briefly. Some notables. No Carson Schlesinger for the Browns, and no Parker Brailsford, who I was really looking forward to. Parker Brailsford is a guy, I think if he can stay healthy, he can really push for a starting center job. I really do. This guy's 5th round pick out of Alabama, but if he's not healthy, that's his opportunity. So he's a no-go along with Schlesinger for the Browns. Obviously, for the Browns, quarterback competition, Deshaun Watson's getting the nod. He'll start this game. Shedeur Sanders will start the next game. But, Watson, the $230 million man, he has the edge right now, it looks like. Shedeur Sanders was their 5th-round pick last year. Everybody wants to see him win the job, including me. I mean, I see what they had in Watson. Kind of saw a glimpse of what they had in, Sanders. Well, you don't know what you have until you see it. So you got to see more from Sanders. He's had a full camp where he's been practicing with first team. Got to see something. I'm also looking forward to Casey Concepcion, their 1st-round pick for the Browns, and Denzel Boston, their 2nd round. Concepcion, he's shown incredible hands. He had that. Sorry, my cat keeps making noise in the background. Concepcion, he showed incredible hands, reliability. Had an injury scare, but he's good to go. He'll be playing tonight. Denzel Boston, he's caught every single ball thrown in that camp. This guy, big body receiver out of Washington. I really like that pick there. Left tackle, Spencer Fano. Looks like he's the clear-cut starter at left tackle, but I'm really looking forward to seeing them. He's 9th overall pick, first offensive lineman taken off the board this year. Flipping over to defense, for edge, Jared Verse. This is the guy that he's looking to fill that void for Myles Garrett. It's unfair for anybody. I've always said it's unfair for anybody to think that he can replace Myles Garrett, but he's got to. He's the guy to fill that void. So looking forward. I mean, he'll probably play one series, but I want to see what he's got. Safety, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, another 1st-round talent. Browns got him in the 2nd round. He fits every defensive scheme. He's kind of like a Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and he's been turning heads at camp as well. I mean, he's flying. He's one of those guys. He's where you need him to be. He's going to be a real key asset to that defense. And then for Chicago, Jordan Vanderberg. This is a guy I really like. South African guy. He was a 6th-round pick out of Georgia Tech. He's received first-team reps. He's powerful. Powerful defensive tackle. Very strong guy. He had a lot of in the bench press at the combine. He was top 5 there. And so he's taking advantage of the injuries there on the defensive line. Chicago's got a bit of a safety competition. Beanie Bishop. He was a Saints practice squad guy last year. Started 6 of 17 games for the Steelers back in 2024. Actually had 4 picks that season. And then Malik Mohammed, 4th-round pick out of Texas. He's looking he has the edge right now at safety. So Bishop and Mohammed, want to see they're both playing. I want to see what they both have. And then we got the Minnesota Vikings, New York Giants. All starters will briefly play for Minnesota. No Justin Jefferson, though. For the Giants, everybody's looking like they're playing except for Jackson Dart, who I'm looking forward to seeing. For Minnesota, 6th-round pick running back Damon Claiborne out of Wake Forest. He's got unique burst, and I've seen it on camp highlights. For Minnesota, Caleb Banks. This is one of my iffy picks in the 1st round. He's healthy, though, now. And I was iffy just pretty much primarily because of the injuries. But he's healthy. He's turning heads at camp. He's got an explosive first step. This is a guy, 6'6", 330 pounds. If he can stay healthy and he has that explosive step, this is a guy that can be really good. And I'm really hoping that he proves me wrong. If he hits, what a pick. For the Giants, one of my favorite receivers, Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame. They got him in the 3rd round. He's holding multiple touchdowns at camp. Offensive guard, Francis Moigawa, 10th overall pick. He's been praised by all the defensive veterans. He's looking to be starting at right guard. He's a guy that he said he's comfortable playing any position along the line. He was a tackle, right tackle at Miami. Well, he'll be shifting over to right guard. Evan Neal, 2022 1st-round pick by the Giants, 7th overall. At this point, he's fighting for a roster spot. Feel bad for the guy, but I got to see something, man. I'm really hoping that he does something. For the Giants also, cornerback in the 2nd round, Colton Hood. He was the first of those Tennessee cornerbacks. It was Colton Hood and Jermon McCoy. But 2nd-round pick, he's been getting first-team reps. Physical cornerback there. Go to the Jaguars, Saints. Notable players playing. Jacksonville is sitting a lot of their starters. But they got a running back competition right now with Sul Tootin and Chris Rodriguez Jr., who they signed from the Commanders. So want to see those guys. For the New Orleans Saints, they got Spencer Rattler, who's the backup quarterback right now. And then Jordan Tyson, 1st-round pick. He'll be a go in this game. So, yeah, for Jacksonville, I'm really looking forward to seeing this running back competition with Tootin and Rodriguez Jr. Neither's been named starter yet. I tend to think that it might be Tootin. He's got those reps last year. This is one of my biggest concerns with this team right now is is the running back position. For the Jaguars, Emmanuel Pregnon, this is a guy, I saw a lot of mock drafts. A lot of people had him as a first rounder. I had him as a second rounder. He fell to him in the third round. Now he is dealing with minor injury, but he's going this week. He's going in this game. For New Orleans, Jordan Tyson, 8th overall pick. He's showing great route running ability. Really looking forward to seeing him. I think he fits and complements Chris Olave well with the Saints. Bryce Lance, another receiver they took, 4th round pick, showing deep ball, deep threat ability. They're really lining up Tyler Shuck. He's got some playmakers there on offense. And then flipping on defense, sticking with the Saints, Lorenzo Styles Jr. from Ohio State, 5th round pick. He's holding his own. Possible draft steal there. I've seen him picking some balls off from the first team. And then we got the Rams and Chiefs. So Chiefs, both teams really don't have a lot of starters going. For the Chiefs, they have Justin Fields going, looking like the backup for Patrick Mahomes this year. Peter Woods, who was one of their first-round picks, and then Mansour Delane, who was the first cornerback in the draft. He'll be a go. For the Rams, Ty Simpson's going. He will not begin the start. It looks like Stetson Bennett will, but Ty Simpson's looking to be an eventual replacement for Matthew Stafford once he eventually decides to retire. But who I'm looking forward to seeing for the Kansas City Chiefs, Emmett Johnson, running back out of Nebraska, who's a 5th round pick. He can be a real weapon on that offense. He really can. Cyrus Allen, 5th round pick out of Cincinnati. He's been Mahomes' favorite target at camp. Peter Woods, 1st round pick, defensive tackle. He's shown explosive quickness. Want to see him? Mansour Delane, like I said, first cornerback taken. He was their 6th overall pick. He's been a lockdown in 7-on-7. I've seen the highlights. And then for the Rams, Ty Simpson, 15th overall pick, eventual successor to Stafford. Really looking forward to him. 1-year starter at Alabama. Started off hot at Alabama, and then he kind of digressed, but not so much that he wasn't a first-round pick talent anymore. Ravens and Eagles. So Philadelphia travels to Baltimore. Again, a lot of these teams they're sitting a lot of guys. For Baltimore, they got Roger Rosengarten going, Andrew Voorhees, Ethan Posick, guys on the offensive line, and then Nate Wiggins, cornerback, will be going. For Philadelphia, Mekhi Lemon, he's dealing with a little bit of injury, but he's going. He's playing. Tyler Steen at right guard, he'll be going. Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, they will reportedly be going. Same thing with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Probably just one series, but they're going. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing in this game, Baltimore Ravens, 5th round pick, running back, Adam Randall out of Clemson. Looks like a punishing runner. Jacoby Lane, 3rd round pick out of USC. He's been turning heads at camp. He's a possible starter. He's looking like their 3rd receiver right now, but he might be pushing Rashad Bateman as his number 2. I'm looking forward to seeing Zion Young, 2nd round pick out of Missouri. Disruptive power, high motor. Looking to see him on the edge. And then Philadelphia, Markel Bell, offensive tackle out of Texas, 3rd round pick, eventual successor to Lane Johnson, supposedly, at right tackle. This is another guy. He's like 6'8", 330 pounds. This guy is a presence. I'm looking forward to seeing him. And then we go to the Cowboys and Seahawks. Last game on the docket. Both teams, a lot of guys sitting. For Dallas, they do have Malachi Lawrence, 1st round pick, along with Caleb Downs. Seattle, you got Jalen Milroe, and then 1st round pick, Jadarian Price. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing in this one, a tight end for Dallas, Michael Trigg out of Baylor. He was undrafted. This is a guy, I thought he had 3rd, 4th round potential, ends up going undrafted. He's been getting 2nd-team reps. This is a guy, I expect him to make that roster, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him. I think this is a gem. Every year we talk about undrafted players. This is a guy I think we end up talking about. Drew Shelton, offensive tackle out of Penn State. He was a 4th round pick. Possibly the next Cowboy offensive line gem. Not looking to be a starter this year, but rotational piece. And I think they find a spot for him there. At an edge, obviously, Malachi Lawrence. Impressive first step. Natural athleticism. Want to see him. And then Siobhan Revel Jr. He was a 3rd round pick last year. Had 1st round talent. This is a guy who was drafted out of East Carolina. He had 1st round talent. Was hurt his last season at East Carolina. Now he's fully healthy. He looks fluid though, making plays at camp. He's got a real shot to get some heavy reps this year. For Seattle, Jadarian Price. He's filling the shoes of Kenneth Walker III, Super Bowl MVP. Zach Charbonnet, he's recovering from an injury. So Price, this is a chance. He's going to come out of the gate. He's supposedly drawing comparisons to Dalvin Cook. Bud Clark, safety, second-round pick out of TCU for Seattle. He's getting first-team reps. This guy's been described as a ball hawk. So this should be a good game as well. But yeah, really got some good games on the docket here. Like I said, it's 6 games tonight. Those games being Detroit at Cincinnati, Green Bay at Pittsburgh, Indianapolis at New England. Then you also have the Chargers at the Texans, Arizona Cardinals at the Las Vegas Raiders, and then you also have the Tennessee Titans at the San Francisco 49ers. So 6 games tonight. I mean, you got some nice games going, along with 3 tomorrow, and then another 7 games on Saturday. So all 32 games playing this week. Like I said, preseason football finally underway. I'm thrilled. I always say I'm like a kid on Christmas. That's how I always feel every football season. But it's finally here. Football season is finally here. I'm like this every year. I know my wife hates it. We got to go to the earlier church service so we don't miss, 1 o'clock kickoff. But she'll be okay. But yeah, excited. It's here. That'll do it for today's show. Again, guys, I wouldn't be here without you. If you love these episodes, please hit that subscribe. Like I said, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Please also check out the Instagram page at J by the Bay and catch all the graphics. I'm always updating the page, information, any breaking news. I list it all there. Players I'm watching, games I'm excited about. Don't forget, we also do, college football. We'll be covering college football year round. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Long season. Football every single weekend, until March. So it's awesome. It'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, be back on Monday with Blair. Yeah, we'll have a good episode. We'll be recapping all the games from this weekend, from tonight, tomorrow, and then this weekend. So it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, please hit that subscribe, guys. Seriously, I love you. I wouldn't be here without you. Again, I'm just a man following his dreams, but I'm stoked. But guys, until next time, I love you. Seriously, take care. God bless. I'll see you Monday.